Hello, my name is Diego Perez, and I received a degree in biochemistry. I'm currently pursuing a single subject credential in biology or foundational level science. What I like to do for fun is I like to go hiking in the canyons that are around me. I live in Orange County, so I like to go hiking in the canyons that are by Tustin and by Irvine. What I believe is a good online class is a class that has everything laid out for each week, all the things we need to do and read and watch, and just to also have reminders of upcoming deadlines. From the first video, the instructor video, I learned that the purpose of the class is to develop ways to work with the families of students with diverse backgrounds, and that another purpose of the class is to be able to work effectively with special education teachers and to be able to develop ways to better work with special education students. For video number 2, the 13 disability categories covered under the Individuals with Disability Education Act of 2004 are autism, deafblindness, deafness, emotional disturbance, hearing impairment, intellectual disability, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, specific learning disability, speech language impairment, traumatic brain injury, and visual impairment. One common issue that is associated with adolescents with disabilities is a lack of autonomy. A lot of parents with disabled children are scared to allow their children to do things on their own because they might be scared of struggling on their own and not being able to find solutions to problems on their own. There was an example given in the video of a mother being scared to let her 15-year-old son go to the school dance. She was scared that he might not be able to socialize well with the other students. And in the video, it was later mentioned that the son, when he was allowed to go to the school dance, had a good time. I think giving autonomy to disabled children also allows them the right to be happy and to be able to figure things out on their own. Another common issue associated with adolescents with disabilities is not allowing them to fail. Allowing a child to fail in the moment probably seems like a bad thing, but eventually it is a good thing, because with all that failure, they're learning with each failure, and eventually will find a solution to the problem that they're faced with. In the video, there was an example of a mother who was struggling to teach her daughter how to tie her shoe, and would show her how to do it, and the child would struggle, and eventually the mother would cave in and do it for her. And that's a bad thing, because you should let your child struggle and fail so that they are able to learn from it and find a solution to the problem. For video number 4, what are the eligibility rules for special education services? So the first rule for a child to receive special education services is that they need to show that they have a disability. And the second rule is that they need to show that the disability they have has an adverse impact on their performance in school. In respect to the people first versus identity first language video, there are 2 ways why the material in the video is important. In the case of when a disabled person wants to be identified, there are a group of individuals who prefer to be identified as a person first. For example, they would rather be identified as a person with disabilities rather than a disabled person. And in the video, it was mentioned that it is important to ask a disabled person how they want to identify, because not everyone is the same. Some would rather be identified as a person first, and others would rather be identified with by their disability first. In relation to being able to identify as a person first, it is important because people with disabilities have been oppressed in the past and have been viewed as less than a person. So in that case, it is very important for people with disabilities to want to be identified as a person first. And in the other case, there are a group of people with disabilities that would rather be identified with their disability first, because they have grown to build a huge community within their disability, and have grown to be proudful of their disability. And that is also important, because forming a community and being prideful of yourself within that community is a very important thing and should also be respected.